happy family, but it's okay. But sometimes I wish to have a happy family because I see how my friends have mommies and daddies.
When is this gonna stop? Does our child have to pay for our actions? Do we know how much affects them? 20 people per minute are physically abused worldwide. In the United States, 10 million people are abused yearly. 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence. 90% of those kids are witnesses of domestic violence.
Children tend to blame themselves of their parents' actions because they think that it will stop the problem. According to the research, they are more likely to add emotional stress for the fights that their parents are having at home, which that harms their brain development and impairs cognitive and sensory growth. It takes longer for children to develop their memory and thinking skills appropriate for their age. Children tend to stay away from having relationships with their family and friends because they feel embarrassed. They also tend to stay away from their house. Children also lose focus in school because they're thinking of the problems occurring at home.
Sonia! What are you doing? I've been looking all over for you. I don't want to go home. Everything's gonna be okay. Let's go.
I went on a search for a professional to discuss how domestic violence negatively affects children's psychological development.
How does domestic violence affect the child's psychological development?
Domestic violence can have many psychological impacts on children because it can affect their perception of whether they can trust adults. It can impact their sense of safety and security in their home, and it can lead to long-term psychological diagnoses such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, and being exposed to domestic violence leads to an increased likelihood that they will also be engaged in physically abusive relationships as adults. It can affect their ability to focus on school because they can be distracted by intrusive thoughts and flashbacks and nightmares while they're trying to get their work done. They can be worried about returning home and not being certain whether their home will be safe or whether their parents will still be there. And oftentimes when there's domestic violence, one or both of the parents can be incarcerated, and that can lead to financial problems as well.
According to our research, children tend to act aggressive in sensitive events and consider the family members dangerous.
Do you think it's gonna be like last time? I don't want to think about last time. Don't, Angelo! I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm just trying to help you.
Domestic violence negatively affects child's behavior, that they disrespect their parents and don't see them as a role model. Children develop externalized behaviors, such as being hyperactive and have conduct issues. 41.2% of children's educations are affected by domestic violence in the United States because they lose interest in school and show negative impact in the ability to learn and concentrate. They tend to get in trouble in school and have a low performance. Many of them decide to drop out or get expelled. Parents, we do not show interest in the child's right to get an education. 1 in 3 children have experienced domestic violence in their lifetime. Kids are 3 times more likely to repeat domestic violence during adulthood. 1 in 12 children witness domestic violence in their family.
Why are you doing this to me?
Seriously, Angela, what am I doing?
Pretend like you don't know. I just saw that.
What are you talking about?
Do you want to get with him or what?
Shut up. Just stop.
Hey, don't walk away from me!
Don't touch me. Just don't.
Give me back my hat.
What?
What?
That's what I thought.
Mom.
Sonia, talk to me!
Give me my phone!
You don't ever walk away from me!
Give me my phone!
Get back in the car!
Give me my phone!
Don't you leave me. Sonia!
Violence for you.
I think domestic violence is any kind of like abuse or violence in general like going on. If it's like a threat, not really a threat, but like hitting or any kind of weapons being used. It's like if you're in fear, then it's domestic violence.
Okay, Emily. How has domestic violence impact you?
Personally, I think domestic violence, being able, not being able to, but like having to see it and like deal with it inside my own house has kind of made me like, I can notice a lot of aggression in my attitude, and the way I come off is like very scared. So like if anyone gets close to me, it's kind of like I look paranoid, you know. It's not something that's healthy for your mind. It's definitely not. And I think it made me view other people as always like being out to, the first thing that they want to do is like attack you if they're upset with you, and sometimes it's not always the case. But being raised around domestic violence makes me feel like that sometimes.
How can we help? Children could be assisted by activities with social workers, sessions with psychologists. Having school programs could help develop new skills. Our children are not born to suffer. They deserve to have a happy family. Let's be the change of those future generations coming after us.